What's up, party people? It's another episode of Who Asked You podcast. I am your amazing, super intelligent host, Studio 2 Groovy, and we got the wonderful, amazing, beautiful co-host, Kiki Akhenaten, and we have a very, very, very special guest today, Najeebah Pinson. How are y'all doing tonight?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Today we're going to be venerating Black women. But first, could you tell people a little bit about yourself, Najeebah?
All right. So I am Najeebah Pinson. I am the CEO of Majestic Strands. I'm also an author of The Diary of the Ugly Black Girl. I'm a licensed cosmetologist specializing in natural hair. Both my book and my company focus is adjusting one crown at a time.
Okay.
So, and that's just by, uplifting and empowering women and helping them and assisting them in being beautiful inside and out.
That's amazing. So when you say crown, you're talking about our hair, correct?
Absolutely.
So how important is the distinction between like the way you look is signifying how you feel?
Mm, I would say it's extremely important for I would say all women, not just Black women, but all women. We have to look good, and first impressions are everything, and the first thing that people notice is our hair. At least that's what I believe. That's the first thing.
Oh, we can't hear. We can't hear you.
Y'all can't hear me at all.
Oh, there you go.
Now you're back.
No.
It just it just zapped in the middle of what you were saying.
Oh man.
Yeah. Can you run that back? We were talking about hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what was the last thing y'all heard?
I just run it back. I just run it back.
So wait a minute. From the intro or just about the hair part?
Just about the hair part.
Okay, so to summarize it, when you look good, you feel good, and at the end of the day, our hair is the first thing that people notice. So we as Black women and women in general want to make sure that we looking good, because we know that somebody can look at your hair and be like, if it's red, oh, she ratchet, or that's ghetto, or she's showing her artistic side. Your hair can say so much about you and your personality.
Yes, indeed. So, where did you get your background in hair? Like, where did that come from?
Oh, now that came from my grandmother, who was a beautician, and just growing up, being up underneath her, watching her make all of these women look beautiful, myself included. So, I think for me, I expressed a real interest when I lost a lot of my hair due to an accident. And, I wanted to make sure I could, maintain it, have it looking halfway decent until it grew back, grow it out, make it healthy.
Now, you mentioned that you're an author. Do you touch on that accident that you referred to?
I do. I touch on that in my book because that was like a bad moment for me, because I went from having long hair down my back, as a 5-year-old little girl to, it cut all off because of the accident, me having all this glass in my hair and then having to get a jerry curl to kind of help it grow back. It was just a hot mess.
Now, what can everybody see this?
Yes.
Now, what are we looking at right now?
Well, that is my website. So my website kind of gears towards, my company is Majestic Strands, and the website is kind of geared towards extensions, but not really extensions, more so my alter ego wig line, which I feel like is a protective style in itself. Instead of women getting the sew-ins and the braids that's pulling their hair out, try something different. Get, your alter ego wig where, you can nourish the hair up underneath that wig and then allow your scalp to breathe as well.
I like that because I honestly say that not that my opinion matters much, but I prefer girls who would rather wear a wig than weave, because sometimes weave, depending on the person doing it, snatches their natural hair out, and then that so. And
Absolutely. I'm actually trying to revamp my website because I want to only sell the kinky curly extensions, stuff that's geared more towards African American women, because our hair is not, long, silky, and straight. And I don't want to feed off into that.
Now, your book, what made you decide to write it?
You know what? I started writing the book in 2017, and it stemmed from a conversation I was having with another African American woman. And for me, it was just like, okay, this needs to be a conversation, at the end of the day, because it's a lot of women that feel this way. But when I first started writing the book, it was titled Kissed by the Sun. And one day I was praying and meditating, and, God put it on my heart to title it The Diary of the Ugly Black Girl. And I said, oh no, that's not my story, but I was just obedient with it. And, a lot of people get different things from the book and the title, but for me, I was just being obedient. I didn't set out to become an author. It just kind of happened, I feel like it's I'm living on purpose.
Yeah, when you follow spirit, amazing things tend to happen. So.
Oh, absolutely.
So let me ask you this. I know that your book talks about your upbringing, your childhood. How has that changed your outlook on life? Like reviewing and thinking back to the accident and the things that you went through. Like, how did that affect your life now? How you think about life?
I look at life completely different now. I swear, I'm paying attention to everything. One of the things that I pray for on a regular is to come into the light of understanding, whatever that may mean. And for me, I have a lot more patience now. I understand that everything happens for a reason and nothing happens by chance. I'm nobody's victim. Perception is everything. And I had to get out of my own head.
Right.
And that's basically what I talk about in the book. I had to go through some things. And I believe that, everything happens. It's either a blessing or a lesson. And if you don't get the lesson, you'll have to repeat it. So I'm just in a space now where I'm not repeating any more of those lessons. Like, I get it.
All right. So, do you feel like you had insecurities growing up?
Absolutely. For me, walking around with the scar on my face from the accident, being a darker complected woman, being skinny, having acne, being flat chested, like I had several issues,
Yeah.
The difference between me and a lot of people, though, is I can be open, honest, and transparent about it all, because you have to kind of acknowledge that it's an issue so that you can get past it.
Right. So do you think people shouldn't focus so much on like changing what they're insecure about, but accepting it and then making the proper steps? Because I feel like people just they want to change everything about themselves instead of like accepting, okay, this is a part of me, but how can I enhance it?
Right. Absolutely. I think that they should just kind of accept it. We are who we are. And at the end of the day, if God wanted my hair to be long and silky, it would have been long and silky. If he wanted me to have, a bigger head, I would have had a bigger head, just being comfortable with who I am. And it didn't happen overnight. Like, I had to first, like I said, understand that other people's opinion and perception of me was none of my concern. And stop trying to be a people pleaser. The only person that I need to work on pleasing was God. And once I, took that stance, I've been good ever since.
Yeah. That's really like what did grandma used to say? Put that on my pay me no mind list.
Yes.
Yeah.
To a lot of people. I just put them on the pay me no mind list.
So you are a mother, correct? And you're married, correct?
Do I look like I'm a like I'm yes.
No, that's the beautiful thing about it. So how important is self-love to you now that you have not only a masculine presence in your life, but you have children to set an example for? How important is self-love to
Oh
you?
man, it's very important, and for me, daily affirmations is what I try to instill in mine. I greet them with good morning, beautiful, and other women too, because we need to hear that. Like
Yeah.
we definitely hear that, and I just encourage them to be okay with them. I love the fact that as far as I can tell, my girls don't have any complexes or issues, and they do love themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that because it's like I'm getting a do-over, in them.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Well, they say children is just us in a different form. So
I
that's
know.
amazing. That healing, like as you heal them, I mean, as you teach them, that's a healing for yourself. So yeah, that's amazing. Now you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to get deeper into it. Colorism. For those who don't know what colorism is, I would like you and Kiki to explain in your own way what colorism is.
Right.
It's especially for women.
So colorism for me, of course, is just pretty much on the discrimination side of just seeing one skin complexion just being better than the other just because it looks more appealing, or just putting one down because of whatever made up concept we put in society. Like for example, I'm gonna use this example just because I've seen it all week. And it's crazy on Twitter that the nice guy, like I'm speaking on the black community, by the way, obviously. But, the nice guy always being like this savior, light skinned type of guy that's smart and wears glasses, and the evil guy is always a dark skinned
Yeah.
person, just like they put labels on that. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
that right there, and or you know, I'm gonna give you like my own experience. Me getting a role in something, like, because I like to act, I like to be on stage and everything. So I got a role
Mm-hmm.
that was clearly meant for a dark skinned, beautiful girl, but I got it. And I'm not dark skinned, I'm brown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and sometimes they'll put like, they'll put like talent over, looks. I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
like we need the look sometimes. And plus, she wasn't bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So putting my point across, that does happen everywhere. So that right there is for me just picking which looks best, or putting one down to make one more appealing, and just like it doesn't even matter because we're all pretty much the same. We all black people.
Yeah.
So
Amazing answer.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to follow up with that. I'll say it's unnecessary discrimination in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's to me what colorism, right in a nutshell. We are our worst own enemy, and we need to stop. Period.
Right.
Because we all black. It don't matter what shade, what tone, what hue you are. You black. Period.
All right.
How they see us. So instead of hating on one another, let's come together.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you talk after. I wanted to make 2 points.
Shut up. Go ahead.
2 points. One of them, I think it does link with self-hate as well. We have some type of self-hate. For one, that's just one little thing. And two, I also notice a pattern in the black community where there's always you will have a dark-skinned little like boy but a light-skinned girl. And I noticed that pattern. I don't know what it's for, or I mean, not what it's for, but I don't know why that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I never really got to the bottom of it, but I noticed I noticed I'm light skinned, but I have cousins who has a light skinned, sister, and their brother's dark skinned, and I just noticed that like in some families. So that right there, I don't entirely know of, but I notice a pattern. I don't know if that's also like I don't want to say some type of fetishizing type thing.
I think opposites attract.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Opposites attract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It could be I don't even know. I noticed the pattern, so I don't want to speak too much of it. You can totally right on that one.
And it's just like, just because I feel like colorism is definitely a white supremacist tactic used during slavery times to make people with lighter skin tone feel superior than those in the field. Like, we know that. Excuse me. But now they don't even have to do that because we do it to ourselves. And just because you may be more attracted to a lighter or darker skin tone than somebody else, that doesn't mean that you have to brag about it,
Yeah. Right.
Because like y'all said, we are all black. So it doesn't matter which shade, you're a melanated person. And honestly, the amount of melanin that you have in your skin is not correlated with how dark you are. Like, if you have melanin, then you have melanin. It's not like the dark, like that's silly. Like, you're black, period. So I think it's a self-hate tactic that we've taken, even like roasting and talking about each other. We think it's silly and we think it's just a part of life, but really it's like degrading ourselves. It's a self-hate tactic. So I think that we need to yeah, exactly. Hold on. Reverse psychology. Exactly. So we need to cut that out in our culture. Because also, little girls grow up seeing like dolls, and they always want the lighter skinned or the white doll because they hear people roasting on black girls all the time. And I think that's real silly and detrimental to the psychology and the mental state of our little black girls.
And those Barbie dolls used to be real ugly too.
Yeah.
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 Like, I want the white Barbie. I didn't want the black Barbie either because she had on ugly makeup and horrible.
It didn't even match what actual black people look like. Yeah.
It's really important to watch what your kids do because, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, my father made sure I had brats, like that specific one, because of the big lips, and I always got compared to Sasha or Yasmin as a kid. So he always made me. I had one Barbie doll, and then I had brats, and I remember just throwing it in the trash because I was just like, "Oh, this looks like me, and she's actually pretty." So like, it's very important that we have somebody like for these kids to just like step in and make sure that there's, they actually do look valid. So
absolutely,
have that.
I was going to say, and representation is such a big deal. And that's why I want to actually give you praise, Najeebah, for the book, because like the imagery that you're displaying, even though the title is saying ugly black girl, your head is up. And even with your majestic, I automatically think of you, a shining black powerful woman who not only uses their power to boost women, but also you use that power to uplift family, so I really appreciate that. And you're pretty to be a black girl. I want both of you guys to talk about that quote. Like, have y'all both heard that before?
I didn't even hear what you said.
You're pretty to be a black girl.
Oh, let me clutch my pearls.
The most disrespectful quote, period. But have y'all experienced that?
Yes.
I have not, actually, because there are people in the black community, people always, the first thing they think of me is, oh, she's mixed with something because of my hair and, the way I talk and the way I act. So no, I never experienced that. People, like, just the black community, by the way. Like, if they see someone like me or someone that's like, that looks exotic, they think, oh, she's automatically mixed. Or, and some people do really do think that because I do have different races in my family.
So does that make you feel like you're less black then?
Yes, definitely. I was not friends with any black girls at all. Like, I'm aware that I have, like, I identify as Black, but I'm aware that I have other races in me. But my mom's Black. Okay, she came from a Black woman. My father, who is like me, that has different races and ethnicities, his mother is Black. Her mother was so. As long as I come from a Black woman, you're Black. That's just how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But both of my dad and me as well, we've always never felt Black enough in our community ever. Like, honestly, so I'm more on that side. I've never been told you're pretty for a Black girl. People just think I'm mixed, or that I'm you. They get
that goes back to the colorism thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yep.
they just,
my hair is loose, or I used to straighten my hair a lot, before I cut it off and grew it out and everything. So my hair was like not like a you didn't see the 4C like when it's straight type hair. It was just like it's silky straight. So people thought that didn't even think that I was even from like America at one point. I'm like, girl,
wow.
Yeah, like, or the way that I talked, the way that I acted, like I'm more on the I didn't fit in with the Black crowd type people, so I'm never with that. But yeah, colorism, that's my experience. So that could also be looked as like still not being pretty for a Black girl, because like you really thought that I was mixed, that
you couldn't be just Black. Yeah, exactly.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I want to speak on that because I find it very interesting that you're saying that, because for me, I get asked a lot, what am I and where am I from? And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And then, they'll say, well, you have this exotic look about yourself. And it's like, are you trying to ask me, am I from Africa? And because my name is Najeebah and I'm dark skinned, like I would take offense to it. Like,
but you're still Black, so we're just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm still Black, and it would irritate me. And I've been told so much that I'm pretty to be dark skinned. It's not a compliment. It's offensive. Just say, I'm beautiful. Like, the compliment gets thrown in the trash when you add on that dark skinned part, because I know I'm dark skinned. I look at myself every day. I know what color I am. Just say I'm beautiful, and it comes from, a lot of lighter complected people, both women and men. I've heard that from them, and it's just not a compliment. So people can stop, because it's ignorant at its finest.
Yeah, it's really sad, because especially if it comes from a Black person, because you are technically saying that being Black and beautiful at the same time is abnormal.
Yes.
It's like an anomaly or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you look in the mirror and feel like I feel like I'm the only person that wish I was darker. Like, I literally wish I was darker than I am. And I've heard several Black people say, "Oh, I need to get out the sun before I get too dark." And it's like, what? The dark, like, black of the berry don't mean nothing to you. Like, you tripping? Like,
because of the way it looks, and just like it doesn't matter, man.
But black is like, it's a golden shine. Like, it's just some, to me. Listen, black draws in all colors and energy. Okay, the darker you are, to me, the prettier and more beautiful you are. And I think that people should cling on to that concept more than thinking just because I feel like beauty is defined by how close to European you are. The closer European features you have, the more people are apt to say, "Oh, you're beautiful," or "You're pretty." And then that creates unnecessary tension between sisters of different hues, because then it's a conflict of, "Oh, she think she pretty." And it's like, because I talked to my one of my grandmothers about it, and she said in school, girls used to always try to fight her because of her skin tone, because she was like super light, and so she would always have to like damn near run home from school because all the girls would try to scratch up her face because they're like, "Oh, you think you're pretty because you're light skinned." So that we need to dead that, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a problem.
So as a businesswoman, right, has perception affected the way you navigate your customers' demands?
You said has perception.
Yeah, perception. Has it changed the way that you navigate your customers' demands?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I wouldn't even call it perception because I feel like this right now. Again, I'm trying to steer my clients to embrace their natural beauty, to work on their own majestic strands, as opposed to going out spending unnecessary money to make they weave, to moisturize their weave, you
Mm-hmm.
know, or to, use heat protectant on their weave, but they not giving that same proper care to their natural strands. And so for me as a businesswoman, I started off with the selling the bundles and,
Mm-hmm.
and promoting that look. And it's like, that's not what's up. I don't even want to be a part of that. Like,
Yeah.
let's rock the curl. Because some women have to, they've been wearing weave for so long that their hair is damaged underneath, so they have to wear something. So that's
Yeah.
why, I suggest, okay, the wigs, but you're gonna have to kind of stop with the extensions and stuff, because that's what's pulling your hair out. So it's hard for me to still promote that, and that's not what I stand on, integrity, and it's just not right.
And that's what I'm talking about, because once your consciousness evolves, the way that you do your business shit too. Like, I definitely, like, that is amazing, because some people might be like, some people may put money, like they might like, no, but they pay for this, instead of trying to change the narrative and like gradually introduce a better way for your clients. They might be like, well, these selling out, so I'm not about to give that up. So
Right.
that's
And
amazing.
you know what? And I battled with that, because for me it was like, okay, you'll have a lot of beauticians that'll say, well, it's not the sew-ins that's breaking their hair out. It may not be. I'm not saying that sew-ins break your hair out, but when you have a client that don't know how to maintain that sew-in, or
Mm-hmm.
those funnels or those closures, and they think they're gonna wear it for a month or two, and they get the sliding back, it's pulling out their edges with it. So
Exactly.
it's like, I
You
don't
gotta learn how
want
to take care of your hair. If you're gonna wear something like that underneath, like, this has to be taken care of. Don't neglect it. And then wear something and then get it like surprised when it's messed up,
Exactly.
I wore sew-ins before, and like, I knew how, like, and this is like, I was in high school when I wore sew-ins, right? Well, like maybe once or twice, but I still knew what to do because I knew this was important. Like, it was just like, it shouldn't be. That should be a no-brainer. I know it takes us a long time to love our hair because of what we've been through, but
Right.
then again, it's not really an excuse. We kind of have the research now, so it's like, come on now.
And before I show this comment that somebody put in the chat, I want to tell y'all, ladies, I, Studi 2 Groovy, would find a woman way more attractive with a fade than edges back here and weave all the way to your ass. Like, that's not cute at all. And I don't know who told black women that look cute, but it don't. So I would rather you just rock a fade, get you a little line up, and then just let it grow out. But yeah, I'm gonna show this comment. Studi, that was a beautiful compliment. My mother is light skinned and was always mistreated by darker skinned women because they thought she thought she was better. Yeah, that's messed up.
Same way.
It is.
Yeah.
And I hear that a lot. Like, I've had, several women that were lighter complected reach out to me in regards to my book. And they, would say to me, well, I could relate in so many ways, even though I'm a light-skinned woman. And I said, okay, I need to address that, because my book is titled The Diary of the Ugly Black Girl. It is not titled The Ugly Dark-Skinned Girl.
Right.
Even though I touch on that in my book, I also touch on having nappy hair. I also touch on, boobs not being, I touch, but my story was that I was the ugly black girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I just talk about, how this dark skin versus light skin, it's an issue. It's always been an issue, and it's time to talk about it. But that showed me a lot. Like, why is they telling me about they can relate as light-skinned women? I'm talking about just being a black woman.
It's like they missed the whole point of the book.
It's like, no, it's so much bigger than dark skin, light skin. Like, I'm just trying to uplift us all.
And can I say this as well? Like, it's okay to have a preference, but you don't have to knock one other down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to put that on. I don't want people to feel bad for liking a certain type. Like, if you like it, you like it. Just don't like bring the other person that's
right.
the opposite down. You know. So I just want to put that out there. I don't want people to feel guilty for because people just have their purposes of any way. It doesn't even matter what it could be. But just wanted to say that.
So, as a married Black woman, right? Do you feel pressure to succeed? Like, do you feel like people doubt you at all?
I don't care. Just be honest. I don't really care if anybody doubt me because other people's perception and opinions of me is none of my concern. But I will say, I've had self-doubt myself. Like, oh, I'm too old, or, oh, I just quit my job. Am I going to be able to, sustain the same type of lifestyle? I have my doubt, but at the end of the day, I'm going to push through that.
So what made you what made you circumvent that doubt then and just go for it? Like, what made you like say fuck it, whether I fail or not, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna at least try.
Well, because I'm learning through this process, through this journey, that God will make you uncomfortable so that you move. So I know that if I push past the fear and the doubt, it's greatness on the other side. I'm living proof of it now. Like, I don't do stuff, like I'm an introvert. I'm so quiet and laid back. So all of this is new to me. I'm uncomfortable right now, but I'm gonna push through this.
You in the party, that's all. It's a party. Hey. Matter of fact, I got one more question, and then we're gonna take a music break, and then we actually got a short film to play. How do you balance family and work life? Especially because you're a businesswoman.
So, what was that? Did y'all hear that?
I'm sorry. That was my computer's linked to my phone, so I had to text. I'm trying to text them and working, but they just text back anyways. I'm sorry.
No problem. I will say that I'm still learning to balance it all. But what I do mainly is I write out a schedule for myself, and make sure I just kind of stick to it. And then I allow myself days, like on Saturday, I don't do absolutely anything, nothing.
So what about how do you navigate then within the house? Like, let's say you had like a super stressful day, right? Mm-hmm. How do you communicate that you don't want to be bothered? Do you just say, I don't want to be bothered? Or do you just do you have like a ritual or a thing that you do to like calm yourself down?
Okay, so first thing in the morning before I do anything else, I have my morning prayer and I meditate. Some days it might be 15 minutes, but some days it might be an hour or two, depending on what's going on in my world. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of able to have a smooth day throughout. But if something happens, I know how to tell my family like I need a minute, like back up, and I gotta go check that off.
Okay. All right. Amazing answer.
You, because oh my gosh, like just people that is able to work home and like having their own business. Oh God, like that's right there. Just that's incredible. In my opinion, I just feel like that's just.
You said discipline.
Oh, absolutely. Because some days I have to say, okay, get up, get out these pajamas, go downstairs to your office and be productive. And then some days I don't feel like it. I'm tired.
All right.
I'm one of those people that try to be everything to everybody. So it's exhausting to be pulled in so many different directions. So I have days where I say, I do not feel like being the strong Black woman today.
Right. Leave me alone. I feel that. All right. We're going to take a quick music break, and this is Black Girl Magic by Landrell. Hope everyone enjoys.
can be where you want to be if you try to be what you can be.
Feels. I find it so amazing how you still exhibit love even though you've been hurt too many times. Beautiful black woman, I see the stars in your complexion and the moon in your eyes. You're more like an angel in a human disguise. As soon as I make it to heaven, the first thing I'll do is paint pictures of you in the sky. You have such a beautiful mind and immaculate natural skin. All the diamonds in the world do not compare to you, my African gem. And everything about you is magnificent and spectacular. No matter your complexion, you still exemplify the essence of Africa.
Do you know who you are? Really are? Do you know you can be what you want to be if you try to be what you can? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn?
Black girl, magic. Black girl, magic. Beautiful soul, natural skin. Body look like you just got beautiful soul. Natural skin.
I know at times I may not have the words to express to you, but even when you at your worst, I'll try my hardest to execute and bring out the best in you. I thank God for blessing you with excellence and benevolent worth, because every day next to you is like a festival of heaven on earth. You see, I love everything about you. Your blackness is greatness. With the soul of a million suns, you inspire the happiest faces. Even when I'm lacking in patience, you still bring out the best in me. I would try to give you the world, but you can show me galaxies that I never seen. I pray to God that you never leave.
Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn? Hey, black child, do you know you are strong? I mean, really strong.
Black girl, magic. Black girl, magic. Beautiful soul, natural skin. Body look like you just got back in the gym. Beautiful soul. Natural skin.
I find it so amazing how you still exhibit love even though you've been hurt too many times.
Beautiful black woman,
I see the stars in your complexion and the moon in your eyes. Beautiful black woman, I see the stars in your complexion and the moon in your eyes. Everything about you is truly magical. Magical.
Hey, black child, do you know you are strong? I mean, really strong. Do you know you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can?
I really don't mean to objectify you, but you bad as a 10. Body look like you just got back in the gym. Beautiful soul, natural skin. Been asking your friends if you single or not. You really don't mingle a lot. So many kings and so many things, but you are the queen at the top. Feels.
Yo, this is fire, yo.
It is nice.
Yeah. I want a daughter just to play this song for her every morning.
Yes.
Amazing song. That was great. Wow. Okay, so we have a film that we're going to play by a Flint director. He's from Flint, Michigan. And it's called Sisters.
Okay.
So I'm going to share my screen again. And after we play it, let's discuss it and expound on it. See if y'all like it or not. So, okay, this is Sisters.
Hello, invisible sister, my spiritual you. Nothing's clear. Awakened, but not conscious. My brain has flashes, always vibrating, just trying to ignite me.
Smells like shit's in here.
Hey, Olivia.
Knocking for damn near 5 minutes.
You want something to drink, girl?
You forgot what today is.
What's today?
Our dad's funeral. Why were you not there?
I'm still going.
Bitch, we buried him. What? 2 damn hours ago.
Well, I plan on going.
Our mom is messed up right now.
Is she?
Why don't you call her? I have to get back to Manhattan. I take my ass to work every day, raising a family. I own a house next to Diddy.
Yeah, I know. You're rich.
And you sit around on your ass every day in those rags. When are you gonna grow up? What is this?
It's my drawings.
Have you been taking your meds?
Yes. No.
On that black nerd shit again. That crazy shit, Felicia? I bet you've been talking to yourself too, haven't you? Have you even been taking your meds?
Oh my God, do not start this shit.
You know what the hell will happen if you stay off them for too long? Hello? Hello? Wake the fuck up, Felicia! You gotta move forward, Felicia. Dad's not here to hold your hand anymore, Felicia.
Olivia, put my shit down. Get the fuck out of my place.
Okay. If you want to waste your life, then fine.
Fine, now get your bougie ass out.
Okay. Look, just call Mom, okay? She really needs to hear your excuse as to why you were not there.
So terribly aimless. I have no words. But knowing that you'll always be there, my father, my spiritual one.
That was intense. What did y'all think about that film? Chat too. What did y'all think about that?
So is this about her dealing with mental health and they're not like, I'm just going to assume, because I'm not going to lie, it took me some time to process. Is she mental? I don't want to say mentally ill. She's like mentally struggling with herself or spiritually struggling with herself. And she just doesn't have a supportive family or something like that.
Right. I don't understand the plot. Like,
Me neither. That's why I'm kind of putting the pieces together.
Well, what I got out of it is, yeah, she has mental. I guess she may have mental struggles, but she's trying to be creative, and in her attempt to be creative, she's ignoring her real life issues. Mm-hmm. And I guess her older sister was angry at her for missing, I believe, their father's funeral.
Yeah, it was.
Because she was so consumed in her imagination and what she was trying to accomplish. So I think that's what I got out of it.
Same here. I just wasn't sure. Well, I mean, that is pretty common, you know. See, I don't want to talk it.
Toxic people don't help. Exactly.
It's kind of weird because I can kind of relate, you know. So I don't want to. It's kind of weird talking about this. I'm not gonna lie. But it is kind of common for people to have struggling with something, but try to use our whatever's comfortable, like a creative side or our inner child, to get rid of it, but we can't. And then you have family that just tells you, "Oh, just get rid of it," or just do that. Like it's that easy, you know. Sometimes you just can't do it, and that should be okay. It should be an understanding thing, especially within the Black community, because we don't take that stuff seriously. So, and we need to. So that's all I gotta say about it. Not too much, because you know it is a short film. So yeah.
Najeebah, would you like to add? Because I have more to say on that too. I'm piggybacking off of Kiki.
See, I guess I looked at it a little different. I was just assuming that she was dealing with grief, not necessarily a mental thing. You know, grief affects everybody differently. So
yeah,
I didn't see anything mental issue. That's why, you know, I was waiting to see what you was gonna say, Studi.
I will even say, if it wasn't titled Sisters, I probably would have thought that the other girl was imagined, and that was like another persona of herself yelling at her to, you know, get it together. But what I was gonna say is, I definitely experienced a lot of people. Really, I'm not gonna say anybody specific, but a lot of people used to doubt my dreams and aspirations and tell me I won't be able to accomplish even the things that I'm doing today. So I do believe that, looking at it as a Black community issue, a lot of people try to snatch you down when you're in your cloud, when you're doing what makes you happy. A lot of Black people like to say, well, that's not going to work, or what's going to be your other plan, or you're dreaming too much, you need a job, blah 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 blah. You know, they're like dream crushers. And I think that comes from the fact that either they feel like they got successful by the route that they've taken, so they feel like you need to take that route, or they never achieved their dreams, so they don't think it's feasible, or they don't want it to be feasible for you. So that's what I got out of that. So yeah. Well, let me have this man's YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to him. I'm gonna let it roll. And boom. Okay, now here's the fun part, I guess. I'm about to play. We're about to go through a lesson today, and it's all about Black women through history. Wait a minute. I'm going to be doing a lesson in a PowerPoint. Y'all know how I do. So 1 second. Let me pull this up. Okay, sorry. Oops. Okay, so let me... That's all the way at the end. Here we go. Can y'all see that clear?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start it, and then we're going to go in. Studio 2 Groovy presents Honoring the Black Woman. The Vesica Pisces, composed of two spheres with the same radius which intersect within each other's circumference, the joining of God and goddess to create an offspring. The first vagina, the joining of God and goddess to create an offspring, the vagina of the female goddess. Now, as y'all can see, that is the Fibonacci spiral right there. And there go the Vesica Pisces right here where the uterus is. And there we go. Amazing Black woman of the past. Queen Nandi. And I have a short video to play. I want to see if it. There we go.
Is there anyone here who wishes to disapprove this decision? No one speaks. Waiting on. Wemchanga. Then, salute your king. Wena wandofu. Wena wandofu. Wena wandofu. And now, hail the Queen of Queens. Bayada Ntobokazi.
That's how every mom should be greeted when they come home from work.
Besides this man, mother, is there anyone else here who has offended you?
No. No.
Take your place.
Okay. Her name translates to the sweet one. I don't want to butcher that, but she was born in 1760 in Melmoth, South Africa, and she died October 10th, 1827. She was part of the Langini tribe. She birthed the future king of the Zulus, Shaka, and she demanded 55 herds of cows for the non-traditional impregnation that she had by Sinzang Hana. Sorry. Though she was shamed and ridiculed and attacked, she stayed strong and fled from tribe to tribe until Shaka Zulu was old enough to claim his right to his throne. Another queen, Queen Morimi. She was the princess of Yoruba. She was born Olori Morimi Ajasoro of Afa. She was married to Aranmiyan, the hire to the king and founding father of the Yoruba tribe. I think that's Oduduwa. She lived in 12th century kingdom of Ile-Ife at a time when Yoruba people were under attack from a neighboring tribe called the Igbo or Ugbos, the forest people. These people looted their largest market and abducted people, women especially. The queen visited the Esimiran River where she consulted an Orisha, which is a spirit. She made a pact with the river god, vowing to make the greatest sacrifice possible once her people were free from oppression. She was the first honeypot. With divine guidance, she decided to pose as a traitor on the next market day, and she allowed herself to be captured. Her intent was to infiltrate the Ugbo leadership with her beauty in order to figure out how to defeat the raiders. She ended up marrying the Igbo king, and he spilled his land secrets. Armed with the information, she escaped back to the Ife tribe and informed her people how to defeat the Igbo. Like promised, she sacrificed her son, Olua Rogbo, I believe, to the river. Amazing woman of yesterday. Excuse me. Shahrazad Ali. She's an author for the Black family. She was born in Atlanta, Georgia on April 27th, 1954, yet she was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. She's the mother of 12 children, with 9 of them being adopted. She wrote several books and led many seminars on the state of the Black family, white supremacist tactics, and healing the divide between Black women and men. She was a regular host on the Dr. Drew on Call show, and she was featured on Tariq Nasheed's Hidden Color series. She has faced criticism for her outspoken and righteous opinions on white supremacy and the faults of Black culture. She wrote several books: How Not to Eat Pork or Life Without the Pig, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man, Are You Still a Slave, Day by Day, and How to Tell If Your Man is Gay or Bisexual. Here go some of her book covers. And here's a short video of one of her speeches. I'll probably only play like 3 minutes of it.
The parental coalition of a man and woman. We have sons who are, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on Black feminine, female emotionalism. They become bitchy. They're doubtful. They're indecisive. They can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man because we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grew up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information about how you be with a mate off television. It's the only medium that shows us anybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us. The white woman's liberation movement, we don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the Black man for over 500 years. So what do we have to get liberated from them from? They haven't been outlaws. That's the white woman and her man. They're going through that, and that's their business. We don't have any business being in that. They only introduced it to break down the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement started with the Black woman, and the Black child standing together, trying to plead for freedom, justice, and equality, and more benefits in the country that they had built. They threw the white woman in there with the women's liberation movement and made it a woman against man thing. That created a big separation between Black men and Black women, because then everybody started going for self. Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed, clothe, and house our children, we have to give up our man. You have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the farm, and they keep that family together. But in the Black community, they get their requirement, because they want to keep endorsing into the Black community that the Black man is no good, and that he is not deserving of respect. He is not deserving of us letting him give us any protection or instruction, and that we are better than them. The major responsibility that the Black woman has had on the earth for the trillions of years that we have been here has been one of nutrition and birthing children. Those two things have a great deal to do with the survival of any people, the reproduction of the nation, and feeding them the proper food so that they can live. Those are very important jobs. Those are very powerful positions, because it puts us in a position to decide who's going to live or die, and how slow they're going to die by what we feed them. We have a very powerful position. That's not a small role that we play. We have just been taught to misrepresent and misuse that power. The people who we have been counting on to give us the truth about how to get along have failed.
I'm going to stop that right there and expound on that a little bit. What do y'all think about that? About what Shahrazad Ali was talking about?
Yeah, I agree with her. I think me and you kind of were talking about that earlier, how, I don't think that it's done intentionally, but I definitely think that, Black women we do a lot of empowering and encouraging each other. And I think it's time for us to do a little bit more empowering and encouraging our Black men. because
Right.
you know, a lot of us will hear our men come home and say, you know, the white man this, the white man that, and I feel like there's got to be some truth in it. Like all black men are telling this same story. Like, you know, y'all got a battle that y'all fight out there that we don't know anything about, and
All right.
we have our battles too. But y'all, you know, y'all definitely need to be recognized. You know, especially those that do stay, that are in the homes, because they, you know, it's very far few in between, and that needs to change also.
All right. What about that, Kim?
I was gonna touch on the point where she said, you know, as women, there's some things that we really do need to start taking accountability when it comes to certain things. I noticed that it's always a black man's fault for something, and it's just like, why is that always? It's just like it's never our. I don't know how to touch it because I don't know. I can't remember what she said in the video. I'm not gonna lie, I really can't. Well, it's about feminism and you know, worrying about what's going on in the white people's house, and that's pretty much how we got to a certain part of you know, breaking our men down in the first place. We think that their problem is our problem for some reason. We put that in our home, and that was never the case. So it's all black men's fault for something. It's just like, when are we going to take accountability for us being toxic most of the time? In my opinion, like, I could be wrong, but last time I checked, statistically, it's really the women, you know, that pretty much brings the toxicity sometimes to the table. Sometimes I'm not even gonna go there, but that's what. And not to mention, in my experience, I've actually seen that. You know, I personally can't give you a female role model in the family, but I can give you a male role model. You know, that's actually very righteous, but I can name many in my family that isn't. So it's like, when are we gonna be able to understand that there are people that look women, black women, that say, why is it always our fault? Why are we always being blamed for something? Just like, well, first off, I mean, just look at what started in the first place. I don't want to make. I don't know how to put it without trying to make it seem like it is. Like, there's some things that we need to take accountability for, and it's not always a black man's fault for something. Like, it's ridiculous. That's just all I gotta say on that one.
From what I've like me growing up, in my perspective, a lot of black men fell short, but I am not a part of that generation of falling short. You know, a lot of men in my age bracket are trying to. We're coming from, for the most part, single parent homes and single mother homes.
Yeah.
So our views of women are either too extreme. We either don't want to hurt them at all, or we're hurting them because that's all we know. And so I think that black women have to acknowledge that the fact that a lot of black men don't know how to be a man because we didn't have a good example of what man is. So to constantly berate us for our faults that we have, that's not going to build nothing better, because we're just going to be like, okay, well, that's just how we are then. Fuck it. Like, why change if and then the men that are good men, and I know this is probably cliche to say, but most good men get treated like shit. So it's kind of like, y'all, like, what do y'all want? Like, do y'all want? I kind of spoke on this the last episode, but like, I think I know our biggest problem is that men don't know how to be men, and we don't know what women want from us. So we either overcompensate or underperform, I guess. And if women knew, like, I'm not saying every girl is indifferent, but I'm saying if women all had a base, because like, okay, like she was saying, during the Black Power movement, our households were straight. We didn't have a problem with gender roles. But now, like she said, the system is built to where you don't need a man in your house. So now that takes away our worth. So we don't know how to earn our worth. Oh, real quick. This is
Oh, I seen that too.
yeah. Felicia is
You were
mentally ill, which is why Olivia is questioning her about her meds. Felicia also is just mourning and dealing with her father's death her own way. We said both. That's awesome.
Yep.
Smart. But yeah. But yeah, Shahrazad Ali, I think she is an amazing black woman with her, especially with her perspective. Like, that's dope. So let's continue with the lesson. Next slide. Let's see. Okay, Frances Luella Welsing, author of Truth. She was born with the last name Kress. March 18th, 1935. She passed away January 2nd, 2016. She was an Afrocentric psychiatrist who focused on the genocide of Black people, the effeminization of the Black man, and white supremacy as a whole. She wrote two pivotal works: The Kress Theory of Color Confrontation and Racism, White Supremacy, and The ISIS Papers, The Keys to the Colors, in 1992. This is a small clip of one of her speeches right here. Mind you, I only play like 3 minutes.
In the 14th and 15th century, when they began to come out of Europe and circumnavigate the globe, and find that everywhere people were of color, that they understood these people have to be controlled, but it is the male person that has to be controlled in particular. Neely Fuller said that white supremacy is a global system that is carried out in all areas of people activity simultaneously. The struggle on planet Earth for white genetic survival, which is the definition of what racism is. It is the war for white genetic survival all over the planet, globally as well as locally. And that war is carried out in economics, it is carried out in education, it is carried out in entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. We have to be able to look at all fronts of this war simultaneously. We have to be able to see how this war ends up impacting critically on male persons. Everybody, males and females in general, but males in particular. That if we have a Black female and a Black male that attempt to get together and be married, because we are not instructed from kindergarten or the first grade in the dynamic of white supremacy, we are told it is a democracy. We are told about Spot and Puff and Dick and Jane. That has nothing to do with understanding and learning about white supremacy and how is it conducted. So that we see these people attempting to get together, but in all too many instances, because the system of white supremacy understands exactly and specifically what it is doing. It says, well, we are primarily afraid of the male, so we will not allow him to have employment. Or if he is employed, he will not be able to fully advance on his job. He will be vulnerable in terms of job opportunity. So that makes this union fall apart.
Speak, Queen.
What is going on, so they may wage war with one another and blame one another for the dissolution of this union. But in all too many instances, the black female is left alone with the children. Is that familiar? The male children and the female children. The man who left is not a bad person. The female who is left alone with the children is not a bad person. But nobody understands what is really going on. And that's why black people greet each other by saying, "What's happening?"
All right, I'm gonna pause that. How do y'all feel about that? What she was just talking about? Do y'all think that rings true?
For the most part, you know, I agree with her. I will say, like for me, because you know, I was a single mom for a minute. And when my current husband came along, I was so used to doing everything myself, where you know, he was starting to feel like, okay, you too strong for me, like I'm gonna fall back, and so I had to kind of just check myself because, you know, in the beginning, like with my first husband, you know, we were young, so we didn't really know what we were doing, and we lacked the communication, and we're both immature.
Mm-hmm.
And in my current situation, I've learned from that. And so for me, it's just like I can relax a little, like, and let him take the role. And we kind of learn, we're learning as we go. But, you know, we up to it. Like, ain't either one of us trying to run out. You know, we 10 toes in.
That's good. That's really good. Key, how did you feel about that?
Well, since I can't relate, I'm not even sure. I mean, both could be right, but I can't even relate on that. So,
I mean, not off of what Najeebah said, but I'm saying, like, have you seen? Okay, growing up, have you seen that dynamic that she was talking about, or have you like seen in other people's relationship?
About because she point like 2 points, or was it?
She had 2 points.
Yeah. So what was one of the
one the main point that I took from it is about how like that the dynamic of the system causes the men to be obsolete, which what we were just talking about, and then the man feels like he's not needed, so he leaves, and then the woman is more often not left with the responsibilities.
Do I see it in the family, in my family?
It don't even have to be your specific family, but just have you seen that?
No, I haven't. Only because I just haven't. I'm not saying it's not happening, but I just never seen it happen. Mainly because just in my family, naturally, we just have independent women. We've always just been just strong, and you know, but we don't have a problem with the men. We make sure that they're still, you know, it just like in the family, we've always just been like independent. So that's all I saw. But we still had the men in the house. You know, if they're gone, they're probably always at work, if that makes sense.
Right.
They're always there. Like they worked. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You know, especially if they have kids, you know what I mean? It's just like I never really seen like the issue, like the crumbling part of everything. We knew how to make it work. But like I know like toxicity of that whole situation that does happen because I do hear it all the time. So yeah.
Well, I can say from personal experience, and I won't go too much in detail, but that's how my last relationship crumbled with that. The exact dynamic that she was talking about is exactly the cause of why I'm not with that person that I'm referring to. Finances and how the struggles of the black man that women don't take serious. They feel like, oh, you're just making excuses. Oh, you're just lazy. Oh, you just don't want to do it. And that's just not true. And a lot of black women don't want to accept that they aren't always the victims. Like like I think that the media pushing that, oh, black men treat y'all so bad, and oh, y'all, oh, black men gonna leave you, oh, black man is lazy, oh, black man, they have fed that into that so much that they're blind, they're willfully blind to the actualities of reality. And that's not saying that it's just some bum ass niggas that ain't worthy of being dated. Like there's literally like people who just aren't worthy and you shouldn't waste your time with. But there has to be some acknowledgement that the system is built for failure with the black man. So
you know what?
that's my
I
take
agree
on
with
that.
you. But I'll also say this, like a lot of women that I've heard, you know, have their opinions on the black man, their personal experiences. So it doesn't have anything to do with what the outside world is showing us. Like, you know, yes, you know, black men do, you know, they have, you know, the odds stacked against them. But however, so do we. We as black women, we the odds are stacked against us as well. And I just kind of feel like I just can't, you know, say, okay, well, you know, the black woman needs to acknowledge, you know, that the black man going through stuff, because the things that we experience with y'all, we personally experience. Like you have some women that go out there and they do it all, and they hold down the fort and will come home, and you know that black man, or it don't even have to necessarily be a black man, that man, you know, will take that situation for granted and treat her like, you know, beneath him, and she's the one going out there and getting it. You know, I'm all about teamwork. Like I feel like the black family, you know, the man and the woman, they need to lose ego and pride and try to work together as a team. It's not nobody's fault, you know. Let's just work together.
but I have to say this, that a lot of the sentiment of black women is, we don't need you. Like that's all I see on Twitter, Instagram, timeline, on Facebook, out and about. Every black, no, not every black woman, but a lot of black women, especially in my age bracket, in my generation, they want it to be known that we don't need you. Like they shouted out to the heavens that we don't need no man, we don't want no man. But like, what are you, you know? So well, I mean, it's kind of hard to, or it's like, oh, I bring this to the table, and they're like, well, I don't need you for that. So it circles back to, what are we here for then? Like where do we fit into the new black woman's diagram, I guess. I
think it just depends on the woman. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, no, I don't. You know, in my younger years, I may have said to my husband, like, I don't need you, but I want you. Like, I don't need you, but I love you. And
But why do we feel the need to? But why do we as black people feel the need to say that? Because I've said that out of my mouth to people before too. Like, I don't need you. Like, I don't.
Well, usually when anybody say it, it's when you got one foot out the door and you in a heated argument.
Yeah, but it's just like, why? But we do though. We take money or whatever out of it. We literally, masculine and feminine energy, need each other. So why do we say that? And why do we feel like that needs to be known? I'm talking on both sides. I'm not just talking women. I'm just saying black people, period. Why do we?
Like, we don't like to be vulnerable. Period.
Yeah. Vulnerability is scary. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody's too scared of being hurt or abandoned. I think that comes from so many broken families that we watched up, like we grew up seeing. I think that got to be a part of it, because we're used to seeing stuff not working.
Man, my first marriage lasted every bit of not even a whole year, okay? And so my second marriage, this is marriage number 2, and we going on 10 years. To be honest, I didn't see it lasting that long. Mm-hmm. You know, but, you know, we like I said, we 10 toes in, so till death do us part.
Right.
But I had to grow and mature as a person you know, and really me just focus on GP and not trying to change him and let him focus on, you know, nobody's perfect.
I think that's a winning formula too. Like change, like don't get somebody and then want to change them as a person. Like you got to accept that person for who they are and then build on yourself. Like if, because I think a lot of times people project what they want to change about themselves onto their partner instead of just changing, you know, their selves. Like that was a powerful statement right there. Like that was dope. All right, let's get to the next slide. I'm a concurrent next. Sorry, it's taking a little time to. No, I'm not playing the video. Next slide. Okay, amazing Black woman of today. Dr. Joy Groy, I think that's how you pronounce it. World-renowned researcher. She was born in October 1957. She has a Bachelor of Science degree in communication, a master's degree in social work, MSW, a master's degree in clinical psychology, and a PhD in social work research. She is a researcher and educator who focuses on the intersection of racism, trauma, violence, and American chattel slavery. She wrote this thesis and book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. This is according to her website. It addresses the residual impacts of trauma on African descendants in the Americas. It lays the groundwork for understanding how the past has influenced the present. It opens up the discussion of how we can eliminate non-productive attitudes, beliefs, and adaptive behaviors and build upon the strengths we have gained from the past to heal. Here's a short clip of her speaking.
My sister-in-law, who's half black, half white, but looks white, blue eyes, whiter than most white folks, very white. She and I, we kind of grew up together. We raised our children together. So they're first cousins, and it's a wonderful, very, very multicultural family. So we're going in a Safeway one day, and Kathleen, my sister-in-law, is in front of me, and she's, writing a check for her groceries. Now, my daughter, who at the time was 10 years old, was standing with me, and I was directly behind her, getting ready to get my groceries. So Kathleen comes up, and the checker, who is a strawberry blonde, freckled, very delightful, warm, this young woman is talking to Kathleen. Hey, how you doing? This is a nice day today. They're just chatting up. And says, yes, so Kathleen writes her check, and she steps off to the side with her groceries because she's waiting for me. Once again, Kathleen is white, right? So I come up. No conversation. She looks up at me. Absolutely no, just a little chatter. And I write my check. My daughter, however, is 10. Notices immediately the difference in how she responds. So I write my check, and she goes, I'm going to need 2 pieces of ID. At which point, my daughter looks at me, and she gets very, very embarrassed, and tears are coming from her eye, like, Mommy, you're not gonna let her do this. Why is she doing this to us, right? So I'm trying to figure out what I should do, because behind me are 2 elderly white women, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, then I become the angry black woman, right? And they're gonna be, and I'm just trying to second guess all the drama. So then I just give her the 2 pieces of ID. I said, some things you gotta choose your battles, right? And then it gets worse. She pulls out the bad check book, right? So this is the book that's bad check. So she starts searching for my license in the bad checks, at which point it's just out of control now. Just as I'm standing there trying to decide what to do, and it's really deeply humiliating. Now my daughter is in full-blown emotionally upset, who's 10. My sister-in-law walks back over, and she steps in and she says, excuse me, why are you doing this? And the checker goes, well, what do you mean? She goes, why are you taking her through all of these changes? Why are you doing that? She goes, well, this is our policy. She goes, no, it's not your policy because you didn't do that with me. Oh, well, I know you've been, she goes, no, she's been here for years. I've only lived here for 3 months. And so at this point, the two
Hmm.
white elderly ladies go, "Oh, I can't believe what this checker has done with this woman, and it's totally unacceptable." At which point, the manager walks over. So the manager walks over and says, "Is there a problem here?" And then my sister-in-law again responds. She goes, "Yes, there is a problem here. Here is what happened." So you see, she used her white privilege. And even though Kathleen is half black and half white, she recognizes what that means. And she made the statement. She pointed out the injustice. And she, as a result of that one act, influenced everyone in that space. But what would have happened? I can't know for certain had the black woman said, "This is unfair. Why are you doing this to me?" Would it have had the same impact? But Kathleen knew that she walked through the world differently than I did. And she used her white privilege to educate and make right a situation that was wrong. That's what you can do every single day.
Can we expound on that? Have y'all ever faced discrimination like that while grocery shopping?
Not while grocery shopping, but while driving, definitely. Definitely while driving.
Can you explain?
Okay, so I'm driving, I'm in traffic, and I look in my rearview mirror and I see this Caucasian couple behind me, and the lady is hanging out the window and she, getting real turned up, and I'm looking like, who are they talking to? Like,
Yeah.
And I kept driving, and then we all let her stop. And I turn around again and she going off. And so I stick my head out the window like, what is your problem? And they was like, the man was like, "F you, you ghetto black nigger bitch." And I was like, what? Ghetto?
Yeah. Yeah. We say, "Excuse me." Yeah.
But I was so mad because I've never experienced that before in my life. And anybody that know me, I may be a lot of things, but ghetto is not one of them. But, I felt like, all they saw was the color of my skin. And it was frustrating to me because, my husband was on the phone with me and he's saying, "GB, put your head back in the window and go home. Like, you don't know what's going on with these people." And for me, it was like, that was hard to do because it's like, why?
Yeah.
And why can't I defend myself?
Yeah.
Why am I being, told to put my head back in the window and drive off? Definitely tough pill to swallow. Definitely.
Yeah. Key, what about you?
I think I have maybe twice. Maybe. My first time I was in elementary school and I was walking from the restroom and I saw like these little they're like, these little rocks and like these little like those things that you use to like make sculptures and everything, or I don't know what it's called.
The chisel.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
I promise you guys, I was just looking. My hands were not touching them. And one of my principals, a white principal, thought I was stealing. Why would I steal something like that? Especially if it looked heavy. I'm a small kid. It looked heavy. And plus, I knew better to not touch if it's not mine. And my hands were down. I was just looking at it, but she thought I was stealing. So, yeah, I pretty much got in trouble for that. Just like a little minor thing that I remember.
That's not really minor, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It could have been worse.
That's like traumatic. But.
You think so?
Yeah.
I thought it was honestly I know it may be, but I look at it, I'm like, wow, that's kind of funny or whatever. But the second time that I've dealt with the majority of, I want to say, well, pretty much all my life actually, just not being able to stand up for myself, or having my first job. I remember that, I wasn't even able to say a damn thing. There are other black women that will literally tell me to shut up. Don't say this or else you'll upset, the bosses or whatever. And my boss was a black woman and had somebody who was up her, her title, and he was a white man. And then the majority of the people that, the majority of people that did come by wasn't black people and everything. But some of the things that I would say will not be that smart or rude or anything. I would just be saying it. But me being bold and me being a little bit blunt but honest, that's still considered being the angry black girl for some reason. So instead of just quitting or just whatever, I just say, you know what, I will be the angry black girl. I had that kind of attitude, I will be the angry black girl. And you wanted to play me that way. That's exactly what I'm gonna be. And I was like that until I left. So
a lot of I feel like a lot of black people have two choices in society. Either be looked at like you're just angry and unruly, or you be disrespected. There's no in between.
You could look at me like the enemy. I would not be disrespected. Like I have a huge silver tongue. I listen, I have to hurt your feelings if you hurt mine. Like I'm just, that's just how it is. I'm not gonna let somebody put me down. So if it means either my mouth or these hands, we can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I'm not gonna let nobody step over me.
I hope that's me.
So I can't. Like there's, unless they come to me first. I'm not the kind of person who gets in trouble, obviously. But if they come to me first, and if it's worth my time addressing that situation, because I don't like to address petty things either. If it's small, then that's what I'll go by. So yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah. That story always hits home every time I hear it, because I've had a lot of instances like that in my life, especially because when I was younger, I had like a lot of self-hate. So I was trying to fit into white society and not seem like an enemy for a long time. So I let a lot of racist stuff slide. I let so-called friends say things that I would probably, as I grew older, I started like fighting people for, I remember when I was in Tennessee, this kid hit me and we fought or whatever. And then like weeks later in school, we're in the same class and he goes, somebody asked who would win in a fight. And he's like, oh, I already beat his ass. And I'm like, okay, if you won that fight, meet me after school. And then we'll see if you got your ass beat the last time. We'll see again. He goes to the principal and tells the principal that, oh, I'm threatening to hit him. You know what this lady tells me? If you lay a hand on him, you're going to be expelled. Now, mind you, all in class, he was talking mad cash shit, talking about, oh, I'll beat your ass again, whoop-de-whoop, blase splee. And I'm like, okay, as soon as you get off that bus, I'm whooping your ass. And then I find myself in the office, and I tell her the exact same story, and she goes, if you put your hands on him, you're expelled. Wow. In Davison, not only did I used to get followed in the grocery store, but I got chased. And this is like, I kid you not, this is a couple months before Trayvon Martin got murdered. I got chased through a trailer park. I got, that same night, I put this on my life, somebody put a gun in my face and everything. Like, it was very, very traumatizing. I was 17 years old. When the cops got there, they're all laughing and saying, oh, he was screaming, mommy, mommy, mommy. And the cop goes, oh, don't mind them. They're drunk. They thought you stole the skateboard you had. And I'm like, what? They thought I stole a skateboard. So they thought to chase, 3 grown-ass white men thought it was okay to chase a 17-year-old kid with a skate just because he had a skateboard. Like, that is crazy. Like, that is like, and then when Trayvon Martin got killed, all I could think about is like, damn, that could have been me. And so when people say, like, I say all that to say this, when people say that this is a post-racial society, I say bullshit, because the passive-aggressive racism that not only other races put on us, but we put on ourselves, is ever prevalent, and we can't escape from it. I know I said a mouthful, but I want to continue the slide because it's almost done. But yeah. Oh, sorry. No, it keeps doing that. I don't know why. Okay. Here goes some acknowledgments that me and Kim came up with from some of the prevalent YouTubers and Instagram queens out here. We got Pretty Boss TV, Goddess Nadaria, Golden Beauty, Shanita's Divine Tarot, Don't Turn Me Petty, Ashe Divine, Empress AK, Can Be the Light, Krispy Kreme, and Essence Tarot. Thank you. We at the Who Asked You podcast want to thank all of the powerful Black women in the world who has kept our spirits raised when times are hard and who continue to correct the imbalance of our reality. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And that is the end of that. So I'm going to close that out. I really, as we close, I want to say thank you so much, Najeebah, for coming up here and rocking it out with us and getting a perspective on being a Black woman, a Black businesswoman, I should say. I want to show your website one more time before we leave. Hold on. He definitely didn't want that smoke in Davis. And yeah, it's sad, but I mean, as Black, I'm not even just gonna say Black men, but as Black people, period, my whole point of this is not only to venerate Black women, but to show like we need to stick together and stop dividing ourselves, because we already got enough enemies, you know? And I feel like with that perspective, please go out and buy Najeebah's book, because I believe that there will be so much insight between those pages. And it's a quick read, and it's not that much. It's $10. Like, let me show the website again so they can see the process to pay for your book. It's $10.
It's 1010.
1010, which is an angel number, correct?
That's right. And my birthday.
Hey. Yeah, just go ahead and purchase that. That's a beautiful cover. Look at that. The Diary of the Ugly Black Girl. What is that? Adjusting one crown at a time. Yeah, we need that out here.
Yes.
But yeah. So please purchase that book. I'm going to actually have the Instagram scrolling one more time before we head out of here. Kim, is there anything else you would like to add before we end in today's stream?
Buy her wigs too. Don't forget that. Okay. Get one of each of everything on her website. One of each of everything. Okay. I'll take 10. I'll take 10.
100. Yeah. So once again, thank you for coming, Najeebah. And chat party people, y'all always be rocking. I always appreciate how much y'all keep helping build the brand and come in every week, you know, to support. I really appreciate that. You know, we got our merchandise and everything like that. So if you want to purchase a hoodie or a shirt, please hit my DMs on Instagram and we can get that popping. Kim has her tarot. And if you want a really accurate reading, please hit her up in her DMs, because she is great at what she does. So let's end this stream like we always do, with light and love, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.